This summary of How to Make People Like You in 90 Seconds or Less by Nicholas Boothman is about to begin. Enjoy! Key point 1. How to build a civilization. What do the Great Pyramid of Giza, the iPhone, and Dr. Pepper share? They are all products of civilization. Humanity has gone through a huge development process to create them, just like the phone in your hand or the gum in your bag. The first step on this path happened when our ancestors started communicating the need to hide in a cave to be safe from thunderstorms. End conversations positively to leave a lasting good impression. Communication has created and destroyed civilizations, so whoever masters it will have great power. Unfortunately, it's not always easy. At least once in your life, you've probably encountered someone who makes it difficult to establish contact with. But even if there is a gulf between you, you can always build a thin bridge of understanding. Communication techniques are good tools for bridging this gap. An excellent first impression, emotional connection, mirroring, and gesturing can help you win your partner's heart, impress your boss, or find new friends. Most importantly, you'll start to like yourself more, and your communication skills, both at work and in your personal life, will grow even more because of your confidence. Want to learn more and discover a few more secrets? Let's get these treasures together. Key point 2. You can't make a first impression twice. Think of your favorite movie characters and how the producers introduced them. Most likely, they were powerful presentations you will remember for a long time. Iron Man, James Bond, and Daenerys Targaryen captured the viewer's attention in the first episode they appeared and held it for years. Although life is not a movie, and dragons or explosions do not usually accompany you, it is possible to make an equally vivid first impression. There is even a whole strategy for it. The first 3 or 4 seconds of a new acquaintance are precious because, during them, the brain subconsciously reads the aura and decides whether the person will feel safe and comfortable around you. Use them to the fullest to get the most out of them by applying the open beam high lean scheme. Open your heart and body. Crossed arms or legs make people think you are not ready to be honest or talk, which may be far from the truth. So, an open posture is much better for meeting people. Eye and beam. Eye contact and a friendly smile can instantly win a person's sympathy, so don't be overly serious. But it does not work for all cultures. In some Asian countries, it is rude to look into the eyes. However, in the Western world, it is acceptable and encouraged. Hi. After the visual, it's time for the verbal. Repeat the other person's name and introduce yourself. This way, you will remember them better and show interest in them. Nice to meet you, Michael. I'm Sarah. Sounds better than just a name. Lean. Want to show affection without words? Nod slightly or lean forward. Most people do this unconsciously when listening to something interesting, but you can use this tip purposefully. But don't go overboard to the point of looking like a dashboard bobblehead toy. These tricks make the conversation a solid foundation for a long-lasting relationship, so don't hesitate to try them. Remember that you have all the qualities you need to charm people, so this method is not a magic pill, but an assistant to help unlock your potential. Learn the cultural traditions of your partner to have a trump card in conversation. Key point 3. Negotiating the maze of emotions. If the first meeting is the foundation of communication, emotions are the bricks to build walls. Sometimes they work even better than words. For example, an angry expression, tears in the eyes, or the cheeky smile of good actors often replace the lines their characters would say. The human brain loves to see the same reactions or feel the influence of the opposite ones. You can use this plasticity to impress others. Positive emotions are usually delightful and create a connection aimed at cooperation for mutual benefit. For example, if there is a gloomy employee at one checkout and a smiling and dedicated one at the other, most customers will go to the happy one. Work productivity will also be very different because people will subconsciously want to help someone who treats them well and are more likely to seek their services again. So try being friendly if you're attending an important business meeting. Even if it doesn't bring immediate results, a positive impression can pay off in the future. What should you do when someone responds to a positive mood with a negative emotion? Imagine you joked about cats ruling the world, but didn't know that your business partner's pet died yesterday, and you must deal with his sudden sadness. Remember that communication is a flexible process, so use the following framework. Identify the communication goals. Get feedback in emotional reactions or words. Adjust your response to achieve the final goal. Express your sympathy for the pet's death and show that you understand the importance of this loss. If you have a similar experience, gently mention it, but don't focus on yourself. Be sincere in your emotions. In the end, this reaction can be the key to the next level of intimacy. Looking for common ground or experience in a conversation is the best way to get along. Negative emotions are not bad. They can bring people together even better than positive ones, but are more challenging to work with. Did you know? Young diplomats and spies in many countries take emotional intelligence courses as an indispensable part of conflict resolution. Key point 4. Your gestures are your besties. Have you ever admired the beauty of dance? Although dancers don't say a word, their skillful movements fascinate and tell a whole story, leaving no one indifferent. The body can also speak, and gestures and facial expressions influence communication. Ancient orators like Demosthenes and Cicero noticed this and developed a strategy for using gestures during speeches. Generations of masters perfected them, and you can use their most practical insights today. Imagine you and your partner have large heart signs on your chests, connected by a fragile string. If you cross your arms, you will break it, because closed body language and quick gestures are characteristic of people in defensive positions. The people you talk to also have emotions and can be just as nervous as you. On the other hand, when you relax, gesture slowly, and have an open posture, you create a powerful impression of a confident person. This knowledge can also help you analyze how ready someone is to get closer to you. The better you are at connecting with other people, the better the quality of your life. Nicholas Boothman. Facial expressions are equally important because people can lie, but their bodies can't. The 3 V's of communication provide different amounts of information to the brain. Visual accounts for 55% of all incoming information. Vocal, 38% of the information we receive is spoken. Verbal, we hear only 7% of the information presented. If someone tells you they are happy, but their voice is trembling and they are crying, you are unlikely to believe them. The difference between the aspects of communication helps you understand complex things like sarcasm or irony, and to detect lies by subtle signs. If you want people to believe you, try to ensure that all 3 V's are consistent, even if you are tired, having a bad day, or nervous. This strategy is a weapon and a shield that can help you recognize manipulation or avoid passive-aggressive people. Do you want to succeed in love? Gestures and facial expressions will also help you flirt. Show your sympathy a bit more actively, for example, by holding your gaze on the person's eyes for a second longer or giving an extra smile. This way, you won't make them uncomfortable by this show of affection. Key point 5. Mirror, mirror that I see, why's my lone rapport with me? In the old cult game Spore, players could create creatures and befriend other species by imitating their behavior. This approach also works in real life because people like similarities. Synchronization is an essential communication element that helps maintain old connections and acquire new ones. Similar life experiences bind people more than professional achievements or social status. Partners in happy couples demonstrate this phenomenon perfectly. They begin to adopt each other's habits, gestures, and phrases after they've spent a few years together. This behavior only strengthens their attachments to each other. You too can try to subconsciously influence others by using mirroring. Mirroring usually occurs when trying to align attitude, body language, specific gestures, tone of voice, certain words, and even breathing with another person. Hand and arm motions are the easiest to mirror, but you can also match body posture or position. Remember to be more open with shy or difficult people to gain their trust and provoke emotions. Mirroring also works with verbal exchanges. You can incorporate them by asking questions and listening actively. Open questions are reliable icebreakers, so ask about a location or occasion to smooth the conversation flow. For example, "What a beautiful city, and the subway's really fast," can prompt questions like, "Are you from here? What's it like living in this city?" The 6 question-generating words, who, when, what, why, where, how, invite the person to express an opinion or release a feeling. Combining them with active listening and feedback in the form of nods or a simple "uh-huh" can encourage a person to reveal a lot of new information. Match your voice tones with specific words to reinforce the intuitive connection, and the more information you give at the start, the higher the chance another person will mirror the answer. However, mirroring is not about faking a personality but building a safe and comfortable bridge between two strangers. If you become essential to your partner, they will also begin to adopt your characteristics, perhaps without even realizing it. The closer you get, the stronger your connection will be without effort. Key point 6. Play the senses like a piano. Every communication begins with data collection. Your hearing, smell, vision, and skin collect information like special agents and then transmit it to the general command center, your brain. All of this happens in a split second, and now you have the base without which it is impossible to start a meaningful dialogue. However, not all agents are equally effective, so people perceive the same thing differently. See differences as not a barrier, but an opportunity to learn something new. Depending on the type of information that is easiest to perceive, Richard Bandler and John Grinder, the founders of neuro-linguistic programming, grouped people into 3 types: visual, 55%, auditory, 15%, kinesthetic, 30%. People usually mix all the senses to describe their experiences, but one is dominant. For example, visuals commonly use image words, while auditory and kinesthetic individuals prefer sound and physical cues. Altogether, appealing to the senses is a new layer of synchrony you can establish to connect with another person. The best strategy to tune into someone's sensory wavelength is to juggle all 3 types. As the relationship develops, you'll find out which one is the most powerful. Listening is the other side of the conversation coin. Nicholas Boothman. Let's look at how to deal with each type. Imagine you're a jewelry salesperson who has 3 customers. The first of them is a beautifully dressed woman with a visual type of thinking. Invite her to look at the sparkle of the gems and describe how these silver earrings will match her outfit. Use phrases like, "I see what you mean," "Can you imagine?" or "You have an interesting vision of this situation." The second client is a musician choosing a chain for his first big concert. He is an auditory type, so phrases like "sounds familiar" or "tell me more" can satisfy him, especially if you let him rustle through the different beauties before choosing. The third client is a man looking for an engagement ring for his girlfriend. He's kinesthetic, so let him touch the different metals and ask, "How do you feel about it?" to build rapport. Conclusion. Communication is a complex process honed over generations, but you can make it easier. To get along with another person, try to act like them. First, make an excellent first impression and gradually find shared experiences and emotions. Body language, tone of voice, and perceptions will help you with this, so the closer you get, the easier your communication will be. Try this. Take a VOC test online to determine whether you're a visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learner. Before you can understand others, you need to understand yourself. Stand in front of a mirror and imagine that you are speaking to a large audience on any topic. Determine the gestures and facial expressions you want to use and which are most successful. Work on your smile. Smile with your lips and the muscles around your eyes to make your emotions seem sincere. Summary complete. Please take a moment to rate it so we can help you grow in the best way possible.